I'm David Lundell, and this is part 2 of Routing Your Way to Project Approval, the intersection of finance and identity management. In this next segment of Routing Your Way to Project Approval, we cover Step 1, align with the CEO's goals. You need to discover your organization's strategic goals and create identity management goals to support those goals. This is best done by seeing how identity management supports the organization, not IT's goals, but those of the whole organization. Do this and you've just made it so much easier to sell it up the chain. This does require some thought and some work. Start by researching the organization's goals. Read the annual report. A lot of times the major goals are right there. Look for activity on mergers and acquisitions. Before I visited a medical device company, I read their annual report and I was able to describe what was happening in their company. I suppose the business is opening up new divisions, then signing up for cloud apps with the corporate card, and then asking you to support it. All before you even knew the new division was in place. He said I was spot on. Then when I told them about the new line of business opening up next quarter, they were stunned. How did you know about that? It's in your annual report. As you can imagine, they appreciated how I was trying to help their organization, to help them help their organization. Another great source is press releases. Look again through there, especially for mergers and acquisition activity again, but also other hints that you can find. Social media, see what others are saying about the client. Employment ads, there's a wealth of information there. A lot of times you can find out what kind of information systems companies are using. And from that you can deduce what kind of projects they've just concluded or about to get started. After you've done that, you want to extract the top 4 or 6 objectives and trends from those list of goals and the other facts that you've extracted from your research. So ideally, as I mentioned before, mergers and acquisitions. Hello, that's a big area where identity management can help. Partnerships. How are they looking to grow? What kind of pressure is there for growth? Are they opening up new lines of business? What kind of pressure is there to reduce costs? Then start thinking of how identity management can help in those areas. Then present to the leadership. And sometimes you'll hit it right on, other times you're opening the door for new conversations. Again, the key is you're coming at this from the business viewpoint, not just the technology viewpoint. Here's a look at one of the leading healthcare providers in the country. With over 241,000 employees, you can see how their guiding principles on the right connect with some of their stated initiatives, which will be outlined in red, and some of their market and regulatory pressures can lead to identity management and consumer identity management initiatives, which will be in purple. For example, their guiding principle of committed to industry leading quality and service leads to their stated goal of comprehensive access across the continuum. What kinds of things could we do in identity management to help with that? We could do SSO for the employees and SSO for the consumer, helping them access their eClinicWorks EMR system. And again, for the customers, enabling them to access their data no matter where they are, no matter which system it was in, whether they're in the emergency room, whether they're in the freestanding clinic or in the hospital, it doesn't matter. Another initiative they have or guiding principle is growth through patient and physician relationships. They have a stated goal to advance the patient experience. Well, that leads to consumer identity management's core feature, provisioning and deprovisioning accounts for the consumers so they can access their data and work with you. This would enable them to have the tools they need to better look after their health and to improve their follow-ups with their providers. Another item is that the regulatory pressure from the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services in the form of a stick, a 0.75% reduction of the market basket for hospitals that don't make meaningful use of EMR. And then there's incentives provided by the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act of 2009 to hospitals that do. This suggests that consumer self-registration, right here, would be a great way to help customers then be able to make meaningful use of their data, of the EMR. And then, of course, to protect that, MFA for the consumer. Okay, so they want to have growth through patient and physician relationships. Well, they have a stated goal of partnering with physicians, which would lead to a B2B play, federation with physician groups. Of course, it needs to be done in such a way that it can handle both the large physician groups as well as the small ones. A guiding principle, industry-leading efficiency, leads to their stated goal of leverage our scale. This leads to the classic enterprise identity management play, provisioning and deprovisioning employees, and the follow-ons, self-service password reset and MFA to improve the security with the multi-factor authentication. They have a guiding principle, development of future leaders. Their stated goal is to be the provider system of choice for both patients and providers. So, self-service group management. They should use this to enable the people, their employees and so forth, to flock together and provide self-peer support groups. Additionally, they should enable applicant self-registration. Yes, that's more of a HR type effort. However, it's the leading front edge for identity management in the enterprise. Finally, they have a goal, a principle here of a well-informed response to the market environment. Well, that leads clearly to customer analytics. With the customer analytics, they can better understand their existing customers and better craft a response to the market environment. Back in 2010, ancient history I know, I visited a pharmaceutical company and presented the following. On the left is a graphic that I lifted from their annual report in that year. I used this graphic and other research to come up with identity management goals for each category for the global pharma innovator. In the global area, let's keep all your contact info up to date across your 100+ subsidiaries and affiliates. Let's use federation and trust where appropriate to provide access to the subsidiaries and well as to gain access to their information. On the pharma side, secure collaboration with partners, genetics company, Eli Lilly, and so on. Also, they had this concept of having a rapid application development team for their pharma drugs. Let's use distribution groups, the distribution group management techniques, to automatically update these distribution groups and support those teams and get them up and going faster. And finally, in the innovator space, let's streamline business support. Let's give employees everything they need on day one. Let's also protect IP from the moment of employee departure. And finally, we propose creating a playbook for mergers and acquisitions. Their jaws dropped. That's exactly what we need to do. Thank you for watching this video. There's more videos coming. There will be a part 2 and a part 3 in this series. Subscribe if you like this info. Thank you.